So I'm gonna not forget that time. I launches badges, and if you want to contribute to give a small thing for the orphanage, you can do it by badges. It's written now, I know how it is. It's written to support yazemeenah, but it's not to support me. I just collect the money here for the orphanage, and I thank already the one who took some of them, and it's really kind of you because this is like a little treasure box, and this is gonna help the children. Yeah, so I'm coming because there are a lot of things, and it's like a weird mood, like suspended time. It's like I have people who are telling me what is going on, where are we gonna go, what are we going to, what's gonna happen. I don't know. You know, I'm not how I can say a medium. I'm not a psychic at that way. I can feel some things, but these days it's like everything is stopped. But I know when it's like that, things are not stopped. It's just that things are working on another level. Every time we have the feeling that it is like nothing happened, in fact, there are a lot of things happening. I think also what is going on at the collective level and in the world is really affecting each of us because it creates a frequency, a vibration, and as we are like, you know, crossed by these, we can feel sometimes uncomfort or something that is not really flowing well, but it's not from us. It can be also from what is going on in the collective. And I must say that during this time, a lot of things is going on, and things that are quite heavy, not pleasant, difficult. It's like we are in a tunnel and we don't see we don't see the end of the tunnel. It's like we go and it's like the tunnel is growing as much as we go, you know. It's like, okay, we have something that is better, but something else is coming. So I was thinking about all that this morning, and in fact I think that I think and I feel that in fact all this process obliges us more and more to be firm on what is right for us, for each of us, and to be really clear about that, and even more than ever, because I see a lot around me, a lot of division, a lot of people in their family that are not connected anymore because political reason or, you know, this health situation. And I have the feeling that this is like to make us able to see what is important for us, to see what is the priority for us, and to put this forward, to put this really, this is my statement, this is what is right for me. I think before this situation, we were, you know, going in our things. Me, I know what is right for me. I know it since a very long time. It's not from now. But a lot of people are not aware of it because they are so taken in a kind of whirlpool with the life, social life, professional life, and all that, that they had never the time and also the occasion to really face a situation, to feel what is the most important for them. And I think for most of the people all around the globe, what is the most important is to stay healthy, to be healthy. But I think a lot of people has been really disconnected from that reality of being healthy because they've been taken in a kind of social conditionment about what to eat, what to drink, where to go, what to wear, blah, 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 and that. And they lost track of simplicity and what is just right for them, simply, not extra. And the situation since beginning of last year obliged a lot of people to go to the essential, often, by obligation, because no more income, no more, it's very hard, no more work. So you are obliged to restrain your expenses or to select and be really clear on what you want and what you don't want anymore. So I have the feeling that this situation now, because we have this information all around from what is going on that is unveiled, all these scandals and all this, nonsense, and some people discover that, some people finally understand, some people deny that still, don't see the bigger picture like it was possible to see at the whole beginning, because it's so big, it's so gross, it's so evident, that all this is very, very well articulated since a long time. I remember more than 25 years ago when I met my second husband, and he wanted to work in restaurant business. And me, I come from restaurant business family, and I know how it is difficult, and I say, no way, you cannot do that. There is no life there. But he wanted. So I said, we were in Paris at that time. I said, it's very simple. If you want to do restaurant business, you're going to do something that doesn't exist very much, or that has a sect connotation. You have to do an organic restaurant, and you have to make it non-smoker, not smoking. He told me, no, you will never have clients, people like to smoke. I say, yeah, but me, I don't go to restaurant because I cannot stand with people smoking around me. It's not good for my health, and I don't enjoy the food, so I don't go in restaurants. And this was a big debate. And finally, some years later, we didn't know at that time that we will do that, but some years later, it happened that we lived in New York and in Manhattan. And in fact, there, people were not smoking indoors. And still in France, they were smoking. So this was a step. And finally, he opened an organic Moroccan restaurant. I did the interior design. It was really nice. It was in Brooklyn. But I remember when I told him that, and even before that, maybe 30 years ago, even more, when I started to discover the interaction in between the soul and the body and how all this is working together perfectly, I also imagine the evolution of what's going to happen for this big company that are selling pharmaceutical. If everybody becomes healthy, if everybody become, organic eater, going to farmers market, reduce portion, eating better, exercising more. And it's what happened since the late 80s. More and more people exercise, more and more people discovered yoga, more and more people took care of themselves. And when you do that, you never go to the doctor. It's very rare, because you understand also how you can heal yourself. You know immediately when you have to stop to eat that or that or that or drink that, or your body, if you are really in tune with your body, you know what is right for you. So this is the thing, and I was telling that this is going to be a big loss for big pharma, and they will find new ways to have people buying their stuff. They will create new things, and it's what is going on. So, but this is part of the whole process. This is also, me, I see all this positive, in a positive way. This is exactly what we need to have the whole process working, the whole process of awakening working. It's quite hot here. and this is the amazing of the thing, the fantastic side of the thing is that everything is in perfect order. We just have to be really strong and firm on our position, on what is right for us, despite our family, despite our neighbor, despite our friend. Really, what is right for us, and bring that more than ever. And taking good care of ourselves, because I have the feeling it's going to be even harder in the next coming months. So we have to continue to be on this center, really firm on our own authority, to really put forward what is right for us, and to don't listen or comply to what is not right for us. And this, I think, is very, very important, because more we are like that, more we create a kind of egregore, a kind of group, invisible, that bring like kind of, that put forces in this direction. And this is individually. It doesn't seem to be effective, but as we know that beyond that, we are all in that big invisible ocean connected, and we work with our spirit and with spirit, but with our spirit and our mind on this invisible realm. More we are focused on what is right for us, more we are strong on that, more we are firm on that, more we create this strength with force in this direction all together. It's for that you don't be scared, don't be afraid to won't be part of the group, because at another level you are part of another kind of group. And this is a spiritual revolution, I can say. It's to feel that it seems difficult when people don't have a notion about their wholeness. I mean by that physical body and subtle body, invisible body. So if we are not aware of that, we are all connected to the invisible. We are all connected to our higher self. The only thing is that some are aware of it and some are not. Some are aware more and more and more, and the connection is stronger and stronger and stronger, present, more, always present, because it's always present. It's not once in a while. It's like, it's funny because sometimes I have the feeling I'm walking in the street or on the beach and I have this whole bubble coming with me. And it's like, I'm not alone. I have this big thing. And sometimes, it's funny because sometimes I go under a tree or something and I have room, but I'm doing that because I think maybe I feel my bubble and I felt maybe my bubble cannot go under, so I go down, and it's like a reflex. And I see that there is room, but I still do it, It's like really funny. So it's that, and more we will be to have this consciousness, more we will create something like a higher frequency, and more people around us will be affected by it, because they're going to wonder, how do you do, is what people ask me since the beginning of this mess, how do you do to be so at peace? How do you do? First, because I'm not scared. First, because I observe. Observing is very important. I connect the dots. As I told you, 25 years, 30 years ago, I knew already that the way society was evolving in better health care by themselves, not by taking drugs, big pharma will be less and less powerful. And they will find other ways to continue to make money. So when you know this, you are not taken in this game, and you are not afraid. And when you know that your body can really heal by itself, when you had, it's for that aging is great, because I had some great experience about that, and it made me more and more and more confident. And I have also dear friends that can help me in bioenergy if I need. So it is, you know, this kind. It's another reality, because sometimes people tell me, "Oh, you are not in real life." I'm not in their real life, but I am in my real life. You see, so it's becomes so evident, and it makes your life so easy when you are not on the fear, when you are not scared. Well, don't anticipate in advance if this become obligatory or that or that. Right now, where you are, how it is, what can you do to avoid to be confronted to this situation? Me, I don't travel anymore. You know, I'm a traveler. I'm a bird traveling all the time around the world. I'm not, because I decided, and I knew it. You know, the funny thing is that I knew it in 2019. I said, 2020, I'm not traveling. I think my higher self knew what will come. But I started the year 2020 with a big trip, but it was the last one, and I said, now it's done. I'm staying at home. But at that time, I didn't know that I will stay at home, because I didn't know it will be all these rules for traveling, and I don't want to contribute to the nonsense. I don't like to be taken for an idiot. You know, how a piece of paper gonna protect me and protect others? It's so tiny, so invisible, everywhere. Everybody's breathing all around the globe. The pollution for me, it's at another level. It's an invisible electromagnetic pollution. And more you have nasty things in your body, more your body is affected, because less it can face this, less is centered to be able to face what is going on in bioenergy, you know, in electromagnetic field, electric field that is disturbed. So more you live in cities, and worse it is, because it's evident. You have a concentration of electrification, of disturbance by Wi-Fi, by all these networks and things, and TV, and all these lights around in this apartment where you have like this metallic frame and a lot of electric going on. It's too much for the body. I'm so thankful, because I came here almost 14 years ago, and I was living comfortably in Manhattan. It was great. I was working a lot as model. It was really, really great. But I made a choice. I never regret it, because now I'm not affected by this electromagnetism like I should be if I was in Manhattan, even if I was living in a very old building that was quite very well insulated and very well exposed, water view, perfect, it was amazing. But here, where I lived, I moved 3 times, and I always been in the oldest construction of Malibu. Life, the universe, brought me exactly what is right for me. My priorities is that you have to know your priorities. My priority is to have you and to be in a quiet place. This is my priority. I don't request to have a big mansion, and I could not afford it. I don't own anything, so I rent. So like this, I have less weight, I have less stress. I don't have a loan to pay every month and to face a situation to lose my job and don't be able to pay my loan. I don't have a big house, but it's a choice. Someone put a comment on YouTube and say, oh, you are a super model and you can afford only that, staying this little studio. But me, I live better than some people who are billionaires because I don't have worriness. I know deep side of me, and this I know since very young, that I will ever have what I need. And I don't need a lot. I love to have a lot. I love, profusion of food and profusion of everything and all my crazy outfits and things. I love this. But I can also be without. I can also live with really minimal. And because I know how it is. And I'm thankful every day to be able to enjoy what I enjoy. So this is that. You make choices. These choices gonna create your state of being, at peace or not. If your priority is to have a big house that you're gonna have a heavy loan every month because you enjoy this house, great for you. But you can also face a stress situation if you don't have, the way to be able to pay your loan. Like the same for my car. I have an old car that looks like new. I have a RAV4, and from 2007. I well maintain, like I used to really take care of my body. I do exactly the same for my car because the car is a reflection of your body. So see a little bit how you maintain your car. It will reflect. When I go in the car of someone, I know how they take care of themselves. So you see, it is like that. And I would love to have a new fancy car, I would love to have one of these big... this big car to go in the desert where you can sleep inside and with, this. But I'm happy with my little RAV4. It's finished to pay since a long time. It's working perfectly. It was the one made in Japan. I bring my car twice a year at the garage that is close by, and very kind people working very well at Toyota here. In Oxnard, actually. I can speak about them because they are really amazing. And I'm happy like that, and I don't have the stress of thinking how I'm going to pay my loan for my car, how I'm going to pay I just have my rent. I just have my rent and my, my water, electric bill that are tiny, and just my gas and my insurance. These are my main thing. So, and I don't have stress. But my priority. So this is a thing I wanted to tell you. When you know your priorities, you have all these things. They say you can do a vision board and put on the board. And once I say, okay, I'm gonna try to make one. And when I make it, I already have what is important for me. So I'm not requesting anything special. So the board doesn't have, maybe I put on the board to have bigger space or one extra room to do a studio to create all my art and my things. Because here someone asked me how big it is. It's 35 square meters. So it is like 400 square feet, something like that, 450. So it's not really big, but it's very well exposed and quiet, and it's great. It's from the 50s. So I don't have a lot of electric connection around. It's very peaceful at this level. Have you noticed when there is a power failure, how suddenly your place is so peaceful? Because we don't see and we don't feel apparently the electric uh, disturbance, the frequency, but it affects our body. We can really feel the difference. Me, I can feel the difference. When there is a power failure, it's like everything stopped. There is no, it's not even a question of noise. It's just that maybe the only noise can be the one of the fridge, but it's so tiny. But it's like something is at peace. So it's that, try to really bring in your daily lives these simple things like eating. People told me, oh, you should do a recipe book. I don't have time for that, and also I don't measure anything. I just cook in the moment, if I can say cooking, because sometimes it's not really cooking, it's just, putting things together. For me, it's not really cooking. But try to have common sense. Try to have to eat various food. Try to change often. Try to experiment. I'm so happy that I experiment recently amaranth that I didn't know at all. I'm curious. So when they told me, oh, do you want some amaranth? I said, what is that? So I've been online and I learned a lot about this plant. A lot. And I experiment, and I did great experimentation in cooking with that. So, it's nice. And today I experimented something I never did before. I experimented shaved broccoli, raw broccoli. And it's absolutely delicious when you mix with other, a fresh ingredient. So be curious, experiment, do new things, and you will see more you do that, and more your wellness, highness is telling you, oh, try that, do that, oh, and if you put that, and why you don't put that, and do that, and that, it's like, it's so funny, because it's like a dialogue with your here in your physical shell and outside the shell, and it's like connecting and giving you messages, and more and more you follow the direction that is given to you, like, oh, you could add that, you do it. It's like this part invisible is very happy to be listened to and give more and more and more, because this part want to communicate with that one that lives the incarnation. And some people also someone told me, oh, for someone who loves minimalist, it's so busy in your place, and all this is nonsense, because if you are spiritual, why you need all these things? And I wonder, what does mean spiritual for this person? For me, spiritual, it means first I am in a physical body, and I'm here to live a human experience in incarnation. So I enjoy everything that is possible in incarnation, in the material world, in the beauty of little things, the beauty of a mineral, of a piece of wood, of a shell, of a material, of a fabric, of beauty, just that. And I love to be surrounded by that, even if somewhere I would love to be in a totally empty space. But it's this kind of duality that I experiment, because I love minimalism. I love to be in a very pure, empty space, but warm, because it will be fabrics and carpet and pillow. These are my main thing. But in the same times, I'm in love with this beauty of nature that I can collect. So they are all around, and with the ceramics I made, and with these fabrics I have around me, and I love it. And at a time I was quite feeling guilty to have all these possessions, And I was wondering, what's the point? What's the point about all this? And finally, just to enjoy, just to have pleasure watching, touching them, connecting with the beauty when it's artifacts, imagining people who made them with their hand, the life they had, and all these things. You know, it's like you have things that are made like the shawl from the other side of the world by these people working there in this country with a different culture, different food, different way of living. And here you are connected to these people simply by a fabric, simply by wearing something that has been made by their hands. And this has value. This is real value. It's not like something industrial that you can buy, like billion of people can buy, you know. It's that. So I think this is the beauty of the exchange we can do in our differences. When I hear all these things around, especially here in the US, about racism, about white supremacy, about it gives me desire to throw up, because we cannot be all the same. We are all different. We are all different. And it's because we are different that it can make the world very nice, because we can share our differences. We can, you know, express something that the other cannot express at our own way, and share this with the world and create something more beautiful together because of these differences, because of that. And it's very sad what is going on, and to want it to formatted everybody to make disappear genders. It's like it's terrible, you know. We are humans by how we are. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's fantastic to give birth. It's fantastic to be a man, to be a woman. It's fantastic, all that. It's the most amazing thing. The most amazing thing is you make love and you give birth to a human being. It's like, it's blowing my mind since ever how this miracle can happen. And because of these differences, because there is a male and a female, and this, and we don't know what's going to be, a male or female, and it's fantastic. Why don't honorate this thing? This is to honor, this is to cherish, it's who we are as humans. It's beautiful. And I think we lost the value of that, of this miracle that we are, of appreciating our differences in the beauty that it is to be different as gender, but also as race, as skin, as hair color. There is so much variety, like in nature. You see all the flowers, how many varieties are there, and the birds and the animals, and we are the same. And it's wonderful. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I have some question. I have children. I have 2 children. My son was born in 1973, I'm thinking. So he's gonna be 48, my goodness. Yeah, 48 this year. And my daughter was born in 1975. So when I gonna turn 66 on 21st of December this year, 21st, 2021, she will be 46. Yes, I have 2 children and grandchildren. Oh, yes, we appreciate our genders. Yes, yes, yes. What do I think about the sun? I love the sun. You know, I go to the sun when it's sunny here, like it's often sunny. I just take a sun bath like half an hour. if I have to stay a whole day in the sun, I'm cover myself, usually with white linen and a hat. I don't expose myself for days under the sun, but I expose myself totally naked, no sunscreen, for half an hour a day, and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy. You know, we are not mushrooms. Mushrooms are light, and because they grow in the shade, but or and leaves, it's the same. And we are not. The sun is what makes life on earth. It's what makes plants growing. So I noticed in summer when I was going at the beach, when I was living in Paris and going in Corsica for a couple of months, my nails were stronger, they were growing faster. My hair also were nicer because I was in the water, the salt water, and in the sun. And the sun, when you can bath in the salt water, the sun makes your hair much more shiny. They don't yellow the white hair. I miss that because I don't bath here in the ocean. I don't like the ocean. But if I was in Corsica for a couple of months, you see this yellowing there? It will be gone because of the salt water and the sun. And they will be very, very shiny, very shiny. So sun is great, and it's great for sure vitamin D. For the sun, I discovered something recently I didn't know. There is this doctor with, I posted that some weeks ago, who explained that vitamin D, when we sunbath, we should not take a shower after for like at least 24 hours because the vitamin D is formatted on the surface of the skin and to go inside. So if we shower, we take off the benefit of the vitamin D. Very interesting. So it's for that. Me, I shower early morning and I go midday, and I don't wait 24 hours, but I have sun every day. And I shower late evening before going to bed. Let's see if I have some question. I've never been in Czech Republic. Oh, Mexico. I've been in Mexico City last year in March at the beginning of this mess. Oh, my necklace, it's old stones, very old, buried, like the burial necklaces with cornalline and very old beads from, I think this one is from Afghanistan. It's very, very old. I bought it when I was working a lot in New York City. I had this store down of my agency that was selling, collectible. So I bought this one. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love the colors. You know, Thomas, I'm very happy to be alone. Very happy, like I would never imagine to be happy when I was younger. I'm open for a relation, but I don't think to spend my life with someone anymore. Or it would be really something really, really special. A collaboration at different level. Maybe for, an organization to help children. This is something to create project together, to maybe something like that, but I would need to have my space. I could not be sleeping with someone every night in my bed. I really love to be alone. It's like a blessing. I'm like, oh, I love that. This is, I think I'm gonna do soon. I have a request from one of my followers to do a video live about addictions. So this is something I discovered late. I started just before my 50 years old. Because before, for me, I could not imagine living without being married, without being in a couple. And this has been the most amazing discovery in my life. It's to be happy, like something I could never imagine, to be single. And I cherish that. It's very precious to me. It's impossible for me to compromise that. It's for me, it's like such a surprise, because when I was very young, or even less young, and I was seeing older women my age now, 60, 70 years old, alone, I thought it was very sad, you know. But now I think about some of these women and I say, wow, they were not sad at all. They were happy because they had all the time for themselves. They had, it's wonderful. It's really, really, really freedom and peaceful. And it's because when you are not needy anymore, when you are clear with yourself, you are not needy. And when you are not needy, you don't attract people that could eventually put you in weird situation, because you put yourself in weird situation. It's not the other one. It's you, because of your needs and your expectation. So who knows? I'm open. The universe will bring someone if it's need to be, if it must be, you know, it's meant to be. I don't know. But for now, I'm not running after it. I'm not looking for it. I'm amazing in my choice. My choices are very simple. You know, it's that when you know what is right for you, when you know what is, when you don't, when you are not too exigent, and I don't want to say I'm not exigent on some things, you know, for me there are fields that is very, very important. Food, space, like all these priorities, you know. Time for myself, resting, exercising, being in nature, these are my priorities. When you know your priorities, you could be surprised when you decide something and it's very important for you. Even if you don't know the shape it can take, how the universe is going to bring it to you, it's always surprising. I'm here in Malibu since almost 14 years. I was in New York, living a good life. And I came in winter. I told this story many times, but I tell it to you because this shows when you follow what is right for you. When I was in New York, I discovered Texas desert. I've been in Texas to learn how to build houses with my hands and mud. So I've been there, I did several workshops, and I learned that in the middle of the desert on the Mexican border in Chihuahua Desert in Texas. This has been a revelation to me about the nature, to the point I wanted to buy a land there and live there. And the universe decided differently. My higher self had another plan for me, I didn't know. I was quite a little bit sad when I saw I was not buying the land I liked. But I've been able to let go, and now I understand it was right to let go. I'm so happy. I put a spell on that land. I had a wish saying that I didn't want that someone buy it and destroy the beauty of it. And my wish has been exhausted, has been realized, because the state park bought the land and nobody can build. So when I knew about that, I was in tears of grace. So this is a thing, you know, I was in New York, had a taste of nature in the US, in the Southwest, because this country is really, really amazing. And this never quit me. Still, when I was in New York, because I did this workshop on many years, I was going back and forth there. And when I was in Manhattan, a part of me was in the desert there, smelling the creosotes, seeing the view, hearing the wind, the morning, the coyotes. And I was connected with nature that way because I was able to, by imagination, because I had a taste of it, I could go back to it. And this helped me. And this created in me, unconsciously at the beginning, a need, a desire to move toward these desert places. I didn't know at that time that I will live here. That is close to the desert. California is amazing because we have the ocean, and 2 hours from here is desert. So I followed, and when the opportunity present to me through a very special way, I needed 5,000 miles to don't lose my elite status on American Airlines. And I checked where I could go to get 5,000 miles. And I came in LA, and I got my miles. And I came in winter, and it was summer. And I came back to New York, and I told my husband, we move on the West Coast. And he was surprised. He said, what? You say never? I say never. I changed my mind. And it was so clear. It was so clear. And even when I came here middle of December, it was the Ford party, you know, the Christmas party at my agency, Ford Model Agency. And some models told me, oh, if you come here, it's really nice, quality of life is nice, but there is no work. So I knew where I was engaging myself, but this was not what scared me. I said, okay, I do it. 1st April 2007, I was here. I never regrets. I never thought when I was in Manhattan that I will live on the West Coast. And I changed my mind because in the moment I felt it was time to do it. I was like pushed. I could not stay in Manhattan anymore, you know. So, and I knew that it will be more difficult. And it has been very difficult work-wise. Beginning of the recession, it has been very hard. But I never been scared. I knew it will be always okay. And it always been okay. And it's when I engaged myself with a 7 years loan, that for me having a loan, it's a disaster, but I wanted a new car. I didn't want a second hand. My first new car in my life, you know. And I wanted to have a new car, my car, that nobody had before. So I bought this car, and it's still there. And I had this loan for 7 years, and I was like, oh my goodness, counting the years, you know, and it has been paid. And finally, I started to change also orientation in my work. I started to do more self-portrait that I already engaged a long time ago. And I follow every time what I wanted to do, what I desire to do, even if it was seeming crazy, you know, like 15, 18 years ago, doing self-portrait, people were looking at you like you were narcissistic, you know. And in fact, it has been my way of living, you know. So it helped me to picture myself for clients. So, and now, and I have this ability to, you know, be so at ease everywhere I go. I've always been, but even more since I do this self-portrait. So it's for that, you know, nothing is silly in your desire when you have something that makes you enjoy, like, oh, I would love to do that. Don't listen to the voice. They're going to say, what you going to do with that? This doesn't bring you anywhere. Don't give it a chance. Do it. Try to just experiment that. Try to see where this is going to bring you, you know. Who would tell me that this 5,000 miles will bring me here and make me so happy and make me close to the desert and make me enjoy the ocean that I was dreaming since so many years when I was in Paris to live by the water. Even if I had water down my street, and in Manhattan I had water, but I wanted to be able to go on the beach, and here I am, you know. So when you are clear with what is important for you, with your desire, even if they seems crazy for others, even for you, give it a chance. Try. And you could be happily surprised, because it's a part of yourself that is out of limitation, that send you this desire, this impulse. It's in your heart, and your heart is, you know, where your soul is connected, your emotions. So follow that without expectation. This is a big secret. Desire with all your heart, and feel what can make you happy, and imagine yourself in the situation that of your desire, and let go. Don't be obsessed with that, you know. Don't masturbate yourself with that. Don't think about it anymore. Let go. And you will see the magic happening, maybe next month, maybe in a couple of days, maybe in 10 years. Who knows? You know, it's like it's gonna take a turn really unexpected. When you expect the less, you know, by a way you never even think about, you know. So it's wonderful. So, voila, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the mood. Yes, I live in a rental apartment. I own only my car. Let's see if I have some questions. Exactly. You are right. Health is right in front of us, not out of reach, not far away. Health is our default. Exactly. Health, this is so well said. Health is our default. We are nature. We are made as the same law as nature, regenerating, reproducing, aging, dying. We are the same, and we have the same ability. Cut a plant, or cut a seed gonna grow in between two stones. You wonder how it's possible and gonna make a tree. And we have exactly the same strength, the same force inside. Thank you. I look gorgeous. Thank you very much. You know, someone say that I'm so pretty and I look so young. This is part of the thing, you know. When you are following like that, and you follow even what seems crazy because you listen your little voice, and little voice is connected to your soul, and you are out of fear and out of worriness and all that, everything is sliding on you. Time as though, because you don't interrupt the flow, you don't because and you are not stressed, so you don't shrink like that. Because when you stress, it shows on your face. It shows, you know, like really it affects the physical aspect, because it's not flowing, because life is not flowing. The current of life, this current of life that make us regenerating and growing and living. When we are worried and when we have stress, we reduce our frequency, our vibration is lower, and this is not flowing, and we don't glow, and there is no miracle, cure, just the one to go with the flow of life. Like when you give birth, let it go. Don't keep this for you. You're gonna suffer much more. Let go. And be amazed by the process. Be amazed by the process. Oh, I had this job, this option, and finally it's cancelled. Instead of, oh, I wanted to have this job, it was this money, and blah, 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 blah. Just be excited. What's gonna happen the day where you were supposed to work and you are not working? What's gonna happen that day? And you're gonna have a day for you. And then, I've done one job as model in 1 year. It's very slow. But I will not be upset if I'm in option and I'm not confirmed. Because I know deep inside this job was not for me. Because if it was for me, nothing don't make me having it, making it. So just let go and the next one and let flow. And this is one of the criteria about looking young. It's about really letting go, really like, I see this. When did you give yourself to the divine completely? I don't know if I give myself to the divine completely, It's like I'm part of it. I don't even thought about that. It's just by what I just told you now. Follow the flow of life. And the miracle is here. It's not something complicated that you have to learn in books and do long studies. It's right there. And when you are connected like that, you have this inner wisdom. Nobody can fool you. Nobody can take you for an idiot, telling you to apply stupid rules, because you simply know that it's not working like that. Oh, I spoke about that. How do I cope a personal life with stress? I just spoke about that. India. How did you dealt with stressful personal life with your partner before? I've been through. I had to face difficult situations, and I faced them. And I said what was right for me and what was not right for me anymore. And I made choices. It was not easy. When you are in, you are in. But more you face and more you bring forward what is right for you and what you want and don't want, and shorter it lasts, because as you are clear with yourself, with your integrity aligned, everything is flowing, like I said before. Everything is impermanent. So everything is changing all the time. Like I said at the beginning, it's like a weird time where everything seems suspended, but I know when things seems to don't move, things are in preparation. A lot of is going on in the invisible. So it's for that, when you have this in mind and you go through struggle, I always had this image that is really beautiful, because as I travel a lot, I saw this very often. It's like when you are above the clouds, it's the sun, and underneath it's all gray. But you see the plane when it crosses the clouds, and suddenly it's all sunny. And it's exactly the same thing. The sun is always there. So try to connect with that light, to just trust that the sun gonna show again. And you can connect already with it above the clouds. And imagine the stressful situation like the big thick clouds and the sun that is above, and connect above. And ask your higher self, your angels, as you want to call, ask to be helped. Because they need to work up there. They are bored if you don't ask them to help. You have to, and for that, you have to be aware more and more about this connection with your invisible side. because like that you can have more and more connection and interaction and responses that gonna come by a feeling, by an idea, by a song that you hear, by a message, something that you read, that gonna, oh, but this is something from this invisible dimension that's gonna make you put your attention and reflect that thing, and this gonna make like, oof, oh yes, it's that, oh yeah, you know, so it's that. Turkey. Thank you, Thomas. It's really kind of you. Yes, I save all my life. They are in my IGTV. I think this one gonna be on my page for a while. So yeah, sure. And I gonna post them on YouTube as well. Yes, never say never. This is so true. But you know, it's magical because the first year I arrived in Manhattan when I worked with Ford Model, I remember it was snowing in winter. My agent told me, do you mind working on Sunday? I said, no problem, I don't have children, I can work on Sunday. I went working, and it was this young girl that was my daughter in the shooting. And the client was used to work with her, and she came from the West Coast. And the client told her, are you still living in Malibu? I never knew what was Malibu, where it was, but something inside was like a bubble light. It was like a gong, you know, like, and I forgot about it. And here I am. You see, so up there yourself knew already. Because up there, it's like a big ocean. Everything is connected. It's not linear, like we are, it's a Sunday, I'm working, tomorrow it's Monday, and in 1 month, it's going to be spring. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. Everything is upside down, like that, going from one there. It's for that. I'm a little bit like that. So I'm a little bit, I say always, I'm stellar. I'm not linear. I go from one thing to another one because one thing makes me connect to another one. But it's my way to be. And it makes my life beautiful because it's not boring, you know. I always have this idea and these connections, and I see something, it make me think of something. Oh, this one was requesting that. Oh, I know this one. He can maybe connect with that. I connect a lot people together when because I'm very open, and remember, I hear when people say things, it stays somewhere, and after I can connect them with the interest they had for someone. I'm very good at that. So it's that, and it's for that. There, it's a wonderful place where you don't have this linear process. So if you can expand your way to be, your mindset in that process that seems incoherent for the linear process, you are closer to the wholeness, the reality, because this linear process is just a fraction of the reality. It's not the wholeness around. Now, more and more, you know, I have also, because I spoke about on my one of my last video about this exercise that I discovered like 2 months ago. I started a little bit to do this breathing exercise that I discovered by myself. And it's an ecstatic moment. It's fantastic. I do it every morning now. And in fact, it's that. It is like, be open to investigate by yourself. Now that I do this exercise, before with yoga, I spoke about that in my yoga session sometimes, about breathing, putting attention on breathing with the back, with your back, how this expands your back. And the back is the symbol of the unconscious, what you cannot see in your back. And you bring your attention there. It's like you start to see with your back, to feel to feel that there is a bed, that there is a back wall, and it starts to become like visible for your back. And doing this breathing exercise now, when I walk, it's like, before I was speaking about the big bubble that is with me, but now it's like I feel my body in all the direction, not only walking, facing linear that way, but it's like I feel from all the directions. That is like, when I walk, it's like I cross a field, invisible field, and it's embrace me after every, as much as I walk, it's like surrounding me, coming with me. It's a very interesting feeling of being in the space differently than before. Nothing has really changed, because when I walk, I'm quite very present, but it's like the space feeling is different. It's like more I am open to this wholeness, more I carry, I have this surrounding me, protecting me. How many times I am doing a picture and I turn a little bit on the road, a car is coming, and there is this thing that make me, it's not because I'm not attentive. It just, it's very fast. You just turn and you are a little bit on the road, a car is coming and can hit you. How many times this did happen, and like by magic, something make me stop and be present and avoid it. So it's by this connection with this presence to be able to be observator. Being observator is very important. Being observator, and in the same time feeling you breathing, the exchange with the body, but with what is surrounding you when you walk. It's that, I noticed that before when I was traveling, mostly in train. I don't like very much the train, but I noticed when I was running as well. Long time ago I was a runner. I noticed that when I was running at a time, at a certain moment, after half an hour, I was crossing fields of information. It's what we call now the quantum field. I didn't know that it was called like that at that time, like 35 years ago. But I was feeling this interaction, this net, and I was crossing this, and I had informations coming. And in the train, it's the same. In the train, there is this kind of thing that makes you in a kind of sleeping mode. Not sleeping, it's alpha waves. You are awake, but you are not, you are like very deeply relaxed. And then at that time you cross this field that they really are. And you cross these currents, and you can have idea and new idea to create things, or response to question, answer to question. It's fantastic. So more you are present to yourself in this environment that you created with these things surrounding you and all that, more there is deeper consciousness everywhere you go with your invisible part, your invisible being. It's fantastic. How I could have a peaceful life when I had to deal with my children's school and all that. 40-something years ago, it was not like now, and I'm very happy and I'm very sad for what is going on right now. I think, I had my children with me all the time, meaning that I never had support from grandparents because I was alone in Paris with my husband and the children, so we had nobody to take care of them. So I was with them all the time. I was at home. I was working at home. And I was doing the same. Farmers market, cooking, much more cooking for sure, and making their clothes, making their sweater that they didn't like always very much because it was my style and they wanted to be like their friend, and me, I was making them wearing things totally different, but always in advance forward, fashion. Some years later, they say, you see, my mother, she was making me wearing this some years ago. And they were like proud after. So I was doing all that. So it was not difficult for me to deal with because I was being trained as well, because I took care of my brother and sisters, and even before my grandmother was losing her mind. So I've been really used to deal with daily things since a very, very young age. So for me, having children was not complicated. And I was also very firm on what was right for me. I knew what was right for me and what I didn't want. I was able, I think, to give them boundaries, and I never been bored by them. And if they were, I was breastfeeding them, and I make my life simple. I had them beside me in their little basket. And when I felt they were wanting to eat, I was taking them, breastfeeding them, and putting them back there. Even if I don't change their diapers because he was asleep. Why are you going to wake the baby when he's asleep after eating to change the diaper? He will stay like that a couple of hours. He will not die. And this made my life very, very easy. Because they were very at peace, because I think even if I was young mother, 17 and 20, as I had this training before, with my brother, sister, and grandmother and all that, I think they were feeling secure because they knew I was not worried about how to do it. And this is a very important part. I always knew how to hold them, how to take them, how to feed them, because it's like I was in empathy and I was feeling in my body where could be their discomfort. So this is very helpful. And I knew intuitively what to do or to don't do. And this was sometimes a little bit surprising, especially for my mother-in-law at that time, who was telling me, yes, but me, I had 6 children, I know better than you. But me, I knew what was right for me and what was right to do for my children. So it's because I was empathic with them. And I felt the way if they were crying to put my hands some places. I knew years later when I discovered osteopathy that in fact is what I was doing to them. I didn't know that it was called like that. I was putting my son as a head totally with the bones very not together. It was really ugly. No hair, like he was really ugly to 6 months. His head was like the bones were, it was. So every night when I was breastfeeding him, I was putting my hands on his skull and I was visualizing through my hands his bones coming together nicely. And in 6 months, it has been done. And when I discovered osteopathy in mid-80s, I told the osteopath, who became a friend, I follow his classes for years, and he told me, but you did osteopathic work. I said, oh, and it works, So it's that thing. It's to be in empathy really helps because you know immediately what is the need. And like that, you relieve stress. It's like when you do massage to someone, if you are empathic, you feel in your body where the person needs to be more massage or not, have more attention or not. It's really, really interesting. So I think I answered to these questions. Oh, I've been in Gelsemium city. I've been there. It was beautiful. I've been in Rajasthan. Oh, I am an earth angel. Yes, yes. What I said about genders, I said it's nice. It's nice to have this difference. It's nice to be a man or to be a woman. It's nice to interact together. It's beautiful. I'm checking if I have. That could be magical if you spend time with little children. Yeah. Colombia. So I see that some people took badges, and I really thank you very much. We raise already a little bit of money for the orphanage. It's really, really kind. Yeah, it's a spiral. Our life is that. It's spirally. It's beautiful. It's like, the Fibonacci thing. It's the same thing. It's... How react little children when they see me? Oh, it's really funny. This is really interesting because I did the experiment many times when I was in the city or in Paris or in New York. When you have children, baby, that are in the arm of the parents. And I was crossing and I was thinking, hello, how are you? In silence. And I was looking and the baby turned and looked. They know, we know. After we are conditioned, but we know. Usually they react very well. I had only one time a child that was, every time I was coming, was screaming, but like crazy. I don't know if it's my hair, I don't know, but it was terrible every time. So I was like, maybe it's a karmic situation. I don't know. I have also this ability when babies are crying, I take them. And I guess maybe the fact I'm not stressed, I take them and I beat them under their little bum, like that. And I'm like, from my heart, everything is okay. Look how this is good. And I feel in me how this is good. And I enjoy, I have the feeling how it's good to be like just beaten a little bit like that. And, rock a little bit like that. And this feeling inside of me, it's like I transmit in the baby. And they stop crying and they love that and they fall asleep. Oh, I love this. And they fall asleep. And when they fall asleep, they are so heavy. They are like the double of their weight, like suddenly. And I have these little dogs of my friend, it's the same. Dogs come to me at the beach. They are curious because maybe my hair, I don't know. And they come, and the dog of my friend, they come and they stay on me. Fall asleep. And they are so heavy. They are tiny, but so heavy. It's so cute. Yeah, it's a nice green. This is the Jade of the shawl, Jade 4, but I put underneath Smoky Blue and Jade, and it gives this beautiful shade. It's really, really nice together. Voila, I hope I'm going to be able to save this because it's quite long. I was speaking like 20 minutes, and here I am since a long time. Thank you again for the badges. This is really, really kind of you. I really appreciate. Thank you very much to listening my long stories. And I'm going to put this on my IGTV or on YouTube so you can check it out. Bye-bye.